No.
No.
Okay.
Are you on an iPhone?
Yes, I am.
Okay, sometimes that's a little tougher to get the gallery view.
Okay. It says more. I'm going to hit the more button.
And it might
Says,
give you speaker
Yeah, I
view
didn't
too.
do it. I tried that too. I didn't work.
Yeah, usually.
Forward.
meeting settings. Can I go to meeting settings? Okay.
Are you on an iPhone?
Yes, I am.
Okay, sometimes that's a little tougher to get the gallery view.
Okay, Rich, I just sent it to you.
I'm going to hit the more button.
And it might give you speaker
I
view
didn't
too.
do it. I tried that too. I didn't work.
Yeah.
I had to. We're live on YouTube right now. I had to mute it because I was hearing myself twice.
I had to resend it to Russ, so he's working on it right now.
Oh, okay.
Rich, I always call him Russ,
Yeah,
but it's
right.
Rich.
Yeah, we know who you meant. And Neil is there.
Yeah, I know.
He is?
See what?
Say Neil is there?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
I don't see
I
Neil.
don't know. Looks like the chief muted himself and Don muted himself.
And that's fine.
Oh, there's Neil.
There's Neil. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great
nice
scene too.
Nice background, back in black and white.
I like that. Mine doesn't support that very well. I had to do a real background. Half of my face turned into the background, so I don't know, shiny head or something like that just didn't work.
I need a millennial so I can get a new background.
Yeah,
I didn't
Yeah.
need a millennial.
yeah. Some machines support it and some
So
don't.
I'll have to get my granddaughter to do it for me.
Yeah.
You didn't get the email yet?
I take it Jolene's trying to get Richard.
Yeah.
then?
And I sent it to
No.
Bernie's too.
Brett.
I was just wondering if anybody else had an iPhone where I could see all the squares. I mean, I'm not saying you're all square, just where I could see the squares.
Yeah, you want the
And I can't figure it out, so. And none of my kids are here, so.
None of the millennials.
yeah, you should have a choice somewhere between, and usually it's in the right-hand corner.
Yeah, I just don't see it.
You can choose between the gallery view, which is the Hollywood Squares.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Gallery.
And that says I'm not a millennial because I don't know what that means.
Means trouble.
Chief, do you see a video thumbnail in the bottom right corner of your phone?
At the bottom, my whole phone at the bottom, there's a mute, a stop video, start,
Okay, again.
and then participants, and then more. There's a button that says more. And that's at
Did
the
you hit
bottom.
participants?
What's in the bottom right corner?
More and participants.
No, I
I
want to
would-
maybe cut and paste it and send it a different way.
Did you try participants?
That's just going to give them a list.
It just gives a list.
Oh, okay.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, we see you.
Yeah, I just wanted to see
Yeah.
all you.
This may be our last opportunity. We may go back to regular meetings, space, with proper distancing.
Okay, another way too, Rich. See if you get this one.
Yeah, Bernie would have it too. It's in her email.
Yeah, yeah, I told him that too, but he said his computer works now, so I just sent it another way to see if I just cut and pasted it and sent the
Okay.
link.
Yeah, and I can send it too.
Did you get that one?
Try to send one as the host, see how that works. Yeah, I just sent him one too, so that
Oh,
might help. I sent
Jim
it to him.
too.
I sent him to him and Bernie, so see how either one will work.
you got it? Stacy, can you turn your shirt around the other way so I don't have to look at Ohio State?
I wore that just for you.
He's got his Michigan shorts on though.
You want me to go get my hat too?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, we know you're the mascot, so put on the whole uniform.
Okay. Well, I was so bored the other night, I was watching reruns of Michigan and Ohio State games, the last time Michigan
So you have to
beat
wait for
Ohio
him.
State. The unfortunate thing was they didn't have videotape back then.
Hey, Jim,
Yeah.
he said he's waiting for you to accept him.
Oh, okay, there it is. Yep, it just popped up.
Okay. I think we should be good.
Yep.
Well, okay.
He's connecting now, so we'll see how it.
All right. Okay.
Okay, is Rich there? Can you hear us? Don't hear anything from Rich.
No, I don't hear anything here. It says user Rich. Connecting, it says.
Okay, connecting to audio. Now it's. Oh, there we go.
Oh, is he muted? Or is everybody muted? Dawn's muted. Rich might be muted.
Yeah, looks like he's up there, but he's muted.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me now, Jim?
Yeah, there they are.
There
Now
you go.
we're good. I think I think we have everybody here, and I'll do a screen share here. And can everybody see the council meeting, June 4th, 2020?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, we are good to go. I'll go over the preliminaries again. This may be our last meeting, hopefully. Meeting will be live streamed on the Lunapeer YouTube channel. So you're being recorded right now and broadcast over the World Wide Web. And we ask that if it gets loud to mute your mic. It hasn't been a problem yet. We've all been chatting. But if you get a sudden dog barking or something like that, you might get asked to mute and unmute when we go to talk again. At this time, I'm going to ask Chief Ansel if he will do the honor of leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the
To
flag
the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
So
which
it's
stands
One
one
nation
nation
under
under
God.
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief.
Sure.
Now I'll ask the clerk to do roll call.
Gramza,
Here.
Grimes,
Here.
Meadows,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Russell,
Here.
Mayor Gardner.
Here.
Anstead is absent, excused.
Thank you very much. We need an approval of the consent agenda. If you notice, there is a change. There is an item added, the treatment plant upgrade extension. I trust everyone has that added. They got the email on that. If,
But that's not on your screen, right?
that it's not, yeah, it's not showing here. It is on my screen when we get down to council action and new business, but I don't have a copy of the agenda showing it.
But does that need to be accounted for here on the motion you're looking for, or is it just as it reads here?
I have an updated agenda that will be posted that will have it on it.
Okay, you can probably say with the addition of
Yeah, with the addition of. Mhm.
item C, the treatment plant.
I'm looking for the treatment plant. Is it the signed extension?
Yes.
Hang on. Because we need the total for that, right?
The total,
There's no money
Yeah.
total. It's just an date extension.
yeah, there's no money.
Which is
Which
August
is
14th? No. Which is the date we
It's
use?
July. The completion date is going to be July 31st, 2020.
Okay, so we use that in the addition?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda, the minutes of May 14th, 2020, bills warrant number 14033 in the amount of $32,930.44 paid, as well as the extension to the completion of the City of Luna Pier wastewater treatment plant, extending the date to July 31st, 2020.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion, we have support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Motion carried. Thank you, Neil and Don. We have no presentation or public hearing. I'll jump right into the mayor's report. It should be a quick meeting. We really had a couple of things we had to add and made it worth having a meeting. The COVID-19 updates, that's the main reason we held our meeting. I'm sure you had a chance to look through that. That's required. It's a very good plan. I really like it. I like the way the things are laid out. It puts everything in writing that we are doing. It is required across the state. And if you have any questions, be sure and bring them up there. Our DPW they're resuming operations as normal following this plan. Right now, our committee meetings are online, but in-person is getting much closer. I want to cover a little bit with the police department. I'll let Chief weigh in and speak during the department reports, but we've been talking with everything that's going on lately. I know none of you signed in, for this pandemic, for all the work that's going around with that, the resulting economic crash. It's just made our jobs exponentially harder. And I really thank everyone. You are the ones that were chosen for this time, duly elected and appointed. I think we'll be fine. I think it's really important that we really move forward as leaders, not by the way things ought to be. We can say that they shouldn't have had this update or this COVID-19. We shouldn't have had this, all this racial tension. We shouldn't have had this police officer who murdered this man allegedly. We shouldn't have all the rioting that took place. We shouldn't have had any of that, but we lead by reality, what is the way it is right now, not the way it ought to be. And you'll hear me turn back to that probably a few times because I think it's really important that we really keep focus on the way things are and get to the bottom of why things are that way and how we can change it and how we plan moving forward. The beach and pier parking is going to probably open up tomorrow morning, Dave, if it's not already. Dave is going down there to open up both sides of the parking. It's at the point now that we are, by keeping it closed and trying to limit activity on the beach, have no effective way of really controlling the spread. We will be enforcing any social distancing guidelines to the extent that we can, and we don't want everybody packed together. We probably will have more people visiting our beach because they canceled vacations and they're going local and they want to get out, and our beach and our pier is a perfect place to do that for fishing, for everything. So we just need to embrace the way it is and open up our parking and our beach and our pier and do the best we can with what we have. It's also very important to our restaurants to get people here. They need people in person. They're not going to make it on carry out. That's a short-term patch, but it's not enough to keep them in business. We did have a problem with our parking box machine, that dreaded machine, and it is out of warranty. It's going to cost us about $1,490 for parts to fix it. Right now it works, but it takes credit cards only. It does not take cash. So it takes coins, but not the bill changer. The bill changer is not working at all. And the display is going bad. So between the display and the bill changer, it's going to be $1,490. And we could, if we decide not to do that, we could lose that much money in a week. So we want to keep that going. I authorize the repairs to that. And much as I dislike that company, and we are moving forward with the Luke 2 system. I don't know when we'll buy it. Well, we did approve it for council. That's a thing where going forward, cash flow is of the vital importance. And we have to think long and hard before we put out $12,000 for a machine. But there will be a return on that too. So that there will be a positive on our cash flow by spending that money. Though, of course, there will be a lag, and we'll just keep an eye on our cash flow very, very carefully going forward. Our restrooms are closed because we can't make them safe. The problem there is it's a space where we can't control the number of people in there. And airborne transmission of the virus is really where the problem is. Not as much touching. We're finding out that that's not as critical, but the airborne, too many people in a small space that we can't control. There's not good airflow in there. We're following the example across the state. The parks across the state are not opening. They are using porta johns where there's one person at a time in there, and you swing the door open, you get a swish of, well, somewhat fresh air coming in there, and it's much lower risk of airborne transmission of the virus. We have to come up with a plan. I did not get pricing yet, but we should consider 2 porta johns and a washing station there, because we really can't open up our restroom. It's really not even legal at this time. We are planning for the budget and during this COVID time, and everything is up in the air. I really like Councilman Wakeman's term of tactical planning, because we're going to have to really move on our feet. We can make our plan now and lay out our budget, but cash flow is really important. We don't know how much cash we're going to have coming in, and we don't want to get behind where we owe money and we do not have the money to pay it. We'll be okay for this year, for this fiscal year, which ends in July, but 2020 and 2021 budget starting in July and August, we really have to watch that cash flow. On another point, I was approached by Danny from the Pier Inn he has done remarkable things. If you have a chance, go down and see the inside of the pier and you would not recognize it. It looks fantastic. He has really done a great job in there.
Mhm.
You just have to see it for yourself. You'll be impressed. He's really cleaning it up in the inside. His clientele, he's getting more and more people in there. He's starting on the outside now, doing landscaping, doing all the painting around the parking lot, doing improvements there, making it look good on the outside. He had to refurbish every room in there, and that's what he did, and get the lobby cleaned up, and just done a tremendous amount of work. So I really urge you to go in there, see what he's done. It looks fantastic. Now, he wants to upgrade the streetlights on Evans Drive. And he actually called consumers about doing that. He wants to double the wattage, and it's not real high. They are LED lights. They would go from 60 to 120. And he said, when you drive in there at night, it's spooky. That road is really dark. He said, all the improvements I do on the inside don't mean anything if I can't get them up this driveway. And they have to drive through this spooky looking dark driveway here to get here. And they're not doing that because they judge it by the site and never get as far as the parking lot. So I am working with consumers about upgrading those lights, and it will affect our electric bill a little bit. I think it will pay back because he has to get people in there. That it's vital that motel survive. And we know what problems we had before, and we never want to go back there again. So I think it's a small price to pay and will pay us back. We will be paying out a little more money in electricity for those lights. If anybody has objections, let me know.
Are they LED lights?
They are LEDs.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's not a huge amount. It's not like the old lights.
Yeah.
It's actually, he wants to add one at the corner where it really needs to be one. And then there's not one there now. And that would be 120 there. And then he would add 100, add 60 to one and 60 to the other, to what's already there. So 240 watts is the total upgrade for the entire street, all the way leading to his place. And I think that's really worth doing. That will really help him out. Department reports.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
could I chime in on a couple of your points on your mayor's report there?
Oh, yes, sure. Go ahead. I'll move back to that. And I should have asked the questions. Go ahead.
That's okay. Can you back up one more screen in case I forget one?
Yeah.
I just wanted to make a comment that the reopening plan document is very well put together. So the team that helped prepare that, and I know you borrowed from other sources and that, which is great and a good time saver, but it turned out to be a really nice document. You should be proud of it.
Thank you. And thank you, Jolene, for doing all the work there and personalizing it to our city. And it is a great document. I've really been working hard on these, trying to find one. And I scrapped them all when I got this one, because we got this from Monroe County, and this is really good.
Very good.
Any other?
Yep, couple more. The parking box machine is that? I honestly don't recall. So this is the old one, correct?
This is the old machine.
And it's going to be used for the other parking lot, yes?
No, this is the one. This is the only one we have in right now, and it's going to be the what would be the east parking lot, or kind of the northeast parking lot, the one just to the north of the the lighthouse.
Okay.
Lakeside parking lot.
Yeah.
And then lastly, on your last page there, the streetlights on Evans Drive did spawn a conversation earlier between the mayor and I about looking into what it would take to turn all of our streetlights into LED, what the cost of that would be against what the long-term savings would be, because that's maybe one area where we could look at some significant savings in cost for the monthly charge that consumers charges us for how much it costs to light those lights.
Can I say something? They, consumers, as they are replacing them with LEDs as they go. Some of them of ours are replaced, and that is much cheaper than what the, according to the bills. And that's what they said, as they needed replaced, they would be replacing them with LEDs, but, you know, maybe we can push it along a little bit. I don't know, you know?
I think that's the main point there is that, you know, cities, especially cities like ours, are in a situation where we need to cut costs wherever we can. And even though we're not in control of those particular devices, we could at least call to their good graces to say, you know, this could really help our city out.
Yeah. Well, I know that they, in Erie, you know, when we did it in the buildings, there was some incentive money there that they had, where they had programs where they gave you a little incentive money to switch things out. Whether that's still there or not, I don't know, you know, but it would be something to look into for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I do have a contact with Stephanie with Consumers Energy, and Consumers Energy has been really active in supporting businesses and supporting communities. So I'm hopeful, and that's a great suggestion. They have really reached out to businesses and provided a lot of resources to keep them going, and people are using them. Businesses especially are using the resources from Consumers Energy. They're really in touch with what's going on here. So I'm encouraged about that, and I'll give Stephanie a call on that. That's a great idea, because we do look at that bill, and it's always bothered me how much we pay.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And then we want to turn a bunch of them off during mayfly season, but we'll continue to do that also.
Yep.
Any other questions? If not, Chief Ansel and I talked a little bit about some of the situation going on across the nation with the protests, with the violence. It's really, I'll go back to what I said, the way things ought to be and the way things really are. I really believe, and I think the chief would probably support me in this, that it's a bigger problem than just some bad cops. It's a deeply rooted racial problems in our country. If we got rid of, most of the cops are good. I think everybody agrees with that. And there are a few bad ones out there. I think everybody would agree with that too. If we could get rid of all the bad ones, we would still have an underlying issue of inequality in our nation. And it's up to us as leaders to lead the way things are and recognize that this really is a problem and it's going to affect us. We can't hide away from it. We need to fix that problem. And we all have our part in that, in welcoming people to our community, treating people the way they should be treated. I really support that, and I encourage you to look for ways to do that, and I'll turn it over to Chief Ansel.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Yes, and I do agree with your statements there. So, I mean, for me, it's a very, very difficult kind of out front. It puts you out front. And we don't need any negative backlash. We don't need it, and we didn't ask for it. And the 2% certainly do not represent the 99 or 98% of law enforcement. It just that's a fact. So when even some of my family comes to me and says, you know, hey, Dad, how do you feel? What are you feeling right now? And I'm gonna just be gut honest. I personally feel a little bit jittery inside, and it's not anything that I really have a lot of control over because of one bad apple or two bad apples. It's made our entire law enforcement community look bad, and there's no getting around that. And so, you know, that being said, we have to be on our toes. We have to think before we do anything. We have to think first. It's my purpose to treat everybody equal. that really, you know, to me, I mean, I have to say it because there might be people that don't understand that, but no, everybody's going to be treated equal. And my guys are going to align with that. It is something that we haven't had to run into this too much. I will say that by having the support of the council and the mayor, by having that support of your police department, that is something that's very, very meaningful to us. And I say that all the other officers feel that same way. As long as the council and mayor understand and trust us enough not to make these blunders and not to do the things that we have seen, to do the right thing, you know, we'll prevail. It'll be okay. And I have to think that it's going to be okay. I am glad that we're part of this mutual aid agreement in case any one of us needs help. These other agencies are going to be there in a blink of an eye. But it's all about how you stand. It's all about how you approach it. I'd like to think that I'm a person that I can personally approach these, whether they're peaceful protesters or they're ones that are looking to do maybe damage to our own city. I'd like to think and hope that we can come to a compromise and that we can say, hey, look, I mean, I can think of some examples. The Flint sheriff was spot on. You know, he brings the Lord in on it, and I'm not going to work any day without the Lord. He's part of my life, and he's my covering. He is my shield. And whether you all understand that or not, that's how I look at this. And I have to practice that, and I have to abide by that. And I believe my officers that are there on a daily basis understand that, some to the exact same degree that I understand it. And so it's a different time. I don't want to have to resort to any kind of acts where people are going to be lodged and locked up, and you know that they're getting out, turning right around and letting them loose anyway. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. So here's one thing that I just wanted to bring up. You know, in New York, when the mayor makes a statement such as, you know, we have to tread lightly, we have to have a light hand. Well, my thought on that is that, number one, he does not have the officers' backs. You go, Mr. de Blasio, in front of these groups that are hurling Molotov cocktails at you, bricks, stones, and even shooting at you, and you go in there with a light hand, just doesn't get it. It does not work. And hopefully it would never, ever, ever come to that. That's the last and furthest thing from our mind, but it's there and it can happen. Fortunately, the peaceful protests that took place today in Monroe were just that. They were peaceful. Bedford was peaceful. Carlton was peaceful. Nobody had to call anybody for extra support. And so that is something that's, you know, positive. That's a good thing. That's how we got to keep it. That's how we got to look at it. We do have to look at it positively. And I believe all the officers are in line with that. So I just want the council to be aware and know that we take it seriously. We're going to do whatever we can to calm the situation. And that's all we can do. That's all we can hope for the best. I think we sometimes are not totally prepared for the worst because, as I mentioned this afternoon, about some of the equipment that we simply don't have. But I think we can work on that and learn from that, and as we move forward. So I hope that explains a little bit about how I feel, about how I believe our department will approach those type of things. And you know, I'm always open to whether it's friendly criticism or changing things or looking at something at a different view or angle, always open to that. So.
Thank you, Chief. If I can explain a little bit, if I may, that as we were talking earlier, one of the first things you pointed out is that you are committed to treating people fairly when they come to our community, that people aren't gonna come in and feel like all the eyes are on them because they just don't look like someone that fits in, and we're not about that at all in our community. And
Correct.
I grew up here, and that wasn't always the case. I will admit that. I've seen it. It wasn't the case. I really think we are on very strong ground right now, and we're reaping benefits because we don't treat people like that. And we're not gonna. We will not stand for racism or whatever. Anytime you treat people less than human, and we're not about that. That's that's the root of the problem. We are going to treat people fairly when they come to our community or when we deal with them on the street, because there is a lot of pent up outrage and there's been a lot of wrongdoing over the years. And I was really happy to hear the chief say that. And he, as you know, he is very, very good at de-escalating and neutralizing situations that could be easily spiral out of control. And he just has a way of stepping in, calming things down, and walking away with handshakes and some, even hugs in a previous time when we were allowed to do that.
Yeah,
But I really thank you for that, Chief.
sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
You bet.
We really don't have a fire department report because it is a special meeting. I don't have a building report, but I did check in with Mike Dembski. Things on the lighthouse are stalled, but they're not dead. Right now, we're struggling with this elevator, and we need a ruling from the state what their interpretation is of where we want to put the panel before we can move forward, because we can't afford to take it back out again. And we're having a terrible time getting answers from them. They are back in the office more now. I think they're working 4 days a week. So we're hoping to get more communication from them, but that's really where it stands right now. The Harborside, seems to be moving slowly, changing rapidly, settling on a design of how they want to do that. But it is moving, and the demolition of the old school has been contracted. The contractor has been in contact with Mike and the building department and hasn't pulled the permit yet, but is aware of what he needs to do and is talking about the plan. He said we'll definitely pull a permit before we get started, but it's moving in that direction.
I'm sorry, so you're saying the contractor has been awarded?
For the demolition of the school, of
Great.
the old school. They just haven't pulled the permit yet. That's the next thing we're waiting. And when he's ready to tear down, the equipment has been moved on site, as you know, and the contract's been awarded.
Can you also speak on the newer happenings going on at the strip mall?
Oh, I heard there is a dog groomer that is moving in there right now. They're working on the occupancy. They have to get an electrical service, a meter put in to that unit. There was no meter in it. But I did hear from Joe, the owner of the strip mall, that he does have a dog groomer moving in there. And he likes that location better than the downtown location because he has other plans for that building that are more suited to the downtown area. I don't know what they are. I imagine it will be, I don't even want to guess, but some kind of maybe restaurant or something like that. But he said he wants to move something in there that's more suited to the downtown area, where the dog groomer was more suited to that building there.
That makes sense.
They did pull that electrical permit today.
Oh, okay, good. So it is in the works, and it's probably just one of the holds up. They should be operational soon, I guess. Any other questions?
Mayor, if I may, this is on a kind of a similar topic. I had talked to Mike Dembski a while back about Sunoco And it's falling apart in many areas. And I had gotten enough information from Mike, and obviously with, you know, his limited schedule and whatnot, I kind of told him that, hey, I don't mind taking this on and writing the owner of that building who lives in Luna Pier, and then the leasee, the people that are leasing that building, putting their names on a certified letter through the city of Luna Pier, with photographs showing all the issues that are in, and I'm just talking about the outside. I'm not even touching the inside, because on the outside there's numerous building violations. And so here's my question. I'm prepared and ready to get this certified letter out to the owner, and I did speak to the people that run it in detail, and they said, they asked me, they said, look, we want to do a lot of things. We want to put in a Tim Hortons there, but the owner will not let us own just this end of the building. And that's what we've been asking for. He won't allow that at this time. And at the same time, in the same breath, they're saying he won't even put a nickel into this building, the landscaping, the bricks that are falling off the pillars, you know, all kinds of issues. So here's my question. If I'm able to write, and with Mike Dembski's name on this paper and mine as well, with his letterhead, logo, building official, make it official. But I don't know enough about the building end of it. Do we have enough bite if they just say, no, you know, we're not going to do it, or ignore the letter, you know, giving them a plan, say, hey, look, in 30 days or 60 days, even come up with a plan and let us know.
We probably should discuss that, because the whole,
let's table that.
Yeah, we can table that. We can work that out. Come talk to me and talk to Mike, and we do have a process for that, and we will follow the process to its fullest to try to get that looking good, because it does reflect on our city when it's the first thing you see. So we could, we talk to me tomorrow, we'll get with Mike Dembski and work on it.
Okay.
Any other questions? Old business, none. New business, we have our COVID-19 response plan we talked about. The resolution number 946 for the police grant. This is a guarantee that the issuer of the grant wants to see that if they award that grant, that will pony up the match for that, which I didn't write the number down,
$293.
$293. That they just want a confirmation that if they do award that grant, that we'll pay our part of it, and they'll pay their $1,000 or whatever it is. They don't want to go through hold the process, award the grant, and find out that we're not going to do the matching pay, the matching amount. So that's what that's about. It's if we get the grant, that's good. We get a lighted LED stop sign in the real problem area, right at the southbound Harold Drive at Luna Pier Road. We want to put it.
Can we use in?
I have a question. Is it Dawn?
That? Can we use in kind for that, or does it have to be cash?
I'm sorry. Is that for me?
Somebody.
I'll be more Jolene.
I think the question was can we use. I think the question was, is it in kind?
Where do we get that money from? I mean, I don't know if it comes from the police budget.
No, that wasn't my question. My question was, can we use in kind using physical hours as opposed to cash?
Well, in the resolution, it says that it has to come from the general fund police budget.
Yeah. So I think that infers that it is a cash.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's cash.
Okay, that was my question. If it had to be.
Yeah.
we could use the hours that are needed to install it or something.
Yeah, no, I mean,
No, I
because
think
it, not according to this resolution, it doesn't say that even has that option.
any other questions on that? I'll move on to the Wendy Bennett resignation from the Luna Pier Housing. With regret, she served on the housing board, but is not able to keep up with everything right now, and has submitted a resignation.
Okay, my next question is, sorry,
And then we talked about the treatment plant upgrade. Go ahead.
can we go back to the Wendy Bennett thing? Is an application,
Sure.
has someone applied for that position already?
I haven't received anything.
Okay, because I thought, and I don't know her last name, Frank Woodward's mom had come to City Hall to do it, but she hasn't. We will get that taken care of.
Yeah, I'll look and see if maybe
Okay.
she did when Dee was here and I wasn't here. We have a folder for those. I can look and see if there's anything in there.
Okay, yeah, because Wendy had only attended one meeting, so we've been waiting for this, so.
Okay. I'll look.
Okay. I kind of, it's what I suspected. I wasn't gonna guess that, but and I think it's Gene Woodward probably. Picking up.
Yeah. Okay. I'll look.
The treatment plant upgrade is just an extension because we can't get the galvanizing is not done on the parts that were fabricated, and that has to be done before they can install them. So that's the main driver. We did put a hold on the work being done there, but that's really not what held it up. It's everything shutting down is what held it up. At this time, if we have any comments from the community, Jolene is monitoring the lines at 734-848-6495. If you have any questions, and we will just kind of watch things go here, and because there's about a 45-second delay to give people a time to weigh in or call, but you can call that number and we can just talk sports or whatever.
Hi, first time caller, long time listener.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this will be so much easier.
Yeah. Did you guys think about a date you want to have another budget meeting? No. No. Hey.
We're just gonna let you be the bad girl and
Yeah.
suggest a date that we can all throw away.
Thank you very much on that. Yeah. Very much.
Hey, Mayor, going back to that parking meter thing over there, when we get that fixed, would it be possible to reposition that? I think the way that thing is facing is half the problem with that machine.
Well, it's
Yeah.
in, I don't know. Can you?
I think it's frozen.
I just got booted off and I'm back now. Can anybody hear?
Yes.
Okay. I got our next. Okay, maybe our next business will be our internet service. Because it is very unstable right now.
Jeff had a question about the parking meter while you were gone.
Okay.
Yeah, regarding that parking meter, once we get it fixed, is it possible that we could reposition that so it's not facing the direction it's in? I think that's part of the problem, especially with the screen being faulty.
Yeah, I don't know. I can talk to Dave about it. We're kind of limited to where we can position it.
Even if they could just turn it and face it towards the parking lot would probably be a big bonus.
Yeah, let me talk to Dave, and I think that's doable. They were very, very strict on how we put that in, but now that the warranty's out, we can do whatever we want. And
Yeah.
obviously, this company has been terribly hard to deal with.
Well, what's interesting about that is that they probably wanted it facing away from the prevailing westerlies, but they may have had no idea how harsh the nor'easterlies are.
Yeah.
So with that, having said that, if the bolt pattern's the same at the base, it's really just it could really just be a matter of unbolting it, rotating it without disrupting the electrical connection. And
I know during the daytime, it's hard to read that screen because of the sun too, also.
Yeah. We can talk about that. I mean, in worst case, it'll take a hammer drill and some inserts to
spin it around a little.
Yeah. Drill new holes, and if we have to, we can talk to Dave about that. That's his area of expertise, but that's a good suggestion. We'll write that down. Well, now that I had my break there, my little internet break, do we have any public input, Jolene?
Nope, we didn't get anything.
Okay, at this time, I'll close the public comment section and go to council action. Wendy Bennett resignation from Luna Pier Housing Commission. Do I have a motion?
You're not starting with number A, the COVID?
Oh, what happened
already?
There? Oh,
Where are you going?
Yeah, there. That's better. That's better.
There you go.
Okay.
Maybe you wanted to go backwards.
Sorry. Yeah, I swear I hit the button once and it went crazy there. COVID-19. Let's start with A. COVID-19 preparedness and response plan.
I'll propose a motion to approve the COVID-19 preparedness and response plan as presented and dispense with the reading.
Support.
I heard a support there.
It's Rich.
Rich Russell.
Okay.
Any discussion? I think I'll go with a roll call on this because it's an important document.
Wakeman,
Yes. That was a Gramza.
Yes.
Okay. Grimes,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you. Resolution number 946, the police grant. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution number 946, police grant as presented and waive the reading.
I'll support it.
Support.
I heard a motion and support there. Any discussion?
It has money. You'll do a
Yeah.
roll.
We'll do a roll call.
Gramza,
Yes.
Grimes,
Yes. Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Russell,
Support. Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Motion carried. Now we'll get to the one I tried to push through early. Wendy Bennett resignation from Luna Pier Housing. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion. We accept the resignation of Wendy Bennett from the Luna Pier Housing Commission effective immediately as presented, waiving the reading with regrets.
Support.
A motion, and we have support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Change order number 4, wastewater treatment plant upgrade.
I'll make a motion to authorize Mayor Gardner to sign the wastewater treatment plant equipment replacement and building upgrades change order number 4.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any discussion? We'll do a roll call on this one.
Meadows,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Gramza,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Grimes,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you, everyone. We'll move to council input and information. Let's go to any other input from council.
I have a couple questions.
Yes.
Regarding Water Tower Park, the amount of revenue we probably have lost due to this COVID deal and not being able to rent the facility. Have we considered looking into trying to recuperate any of that and giving people a discounted price for the summer, just to get some revenues coming in on that facility? Because there's going to be they're still going to have graduation parties and things like that. But
We really, right now, we don't have, it's not legal yet. We can't rent it out for inside.
well, didn't the governor allow groups up to 100 as long as they keep their social distancing and things like that? I thought they opened that up to groups of at least 100 people.
They did not open halls and things like that. I was reading what they allow, and I don't think banquet facilities are included in that. We can look and see. I'll look and read it again, but.
Well, I thought people were, I know people that are starting to prepare for some smaller weddings and things like that. I don't know where the actual locations are going to be.
Yeah, that's where if it's an inside location, well, I'll look it over, but I was reading it again today, looking for what we can open and what we can't. And the way I read it, I'll get a confirmation, but it was pretty clear from what I read.
Okay, well, at least look into it. Like I say, I don't know how much revenue we've lost since we haven't been able to rent the facility out. But
right, and go ahead.
And then the other thing was, I guess this is for the chief, regarding the speed sign that we were supposed to have. Is that up and running yet?
Yeah, it looks great.
Where is it? I haven't seen it.
It's right out in front of Ganders.
I must be going too fast.
Well said.
Or too
yeah,
slow.
it has a great message on it. If you're going too fast, it says please slow down, and if you're going the right speed limit or under, it says thank you in green.
When was that put in place?
That was finished up today, actually.
Oh, no wonder I haven't seen
Yeah.
And on that's a portable sign, correct?
No, that is. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say that question was asked at several meetings ago about whether that could be moved to another location. And technically, yes, but there's a lot to it. There's a lot to the bracing of it. And so theoretically you could, but I would not recommend it. It simply is not going to do. And when I was asked that months and months ago, I did state that, yes, it can be moved from post to post. However, with the brackets and how it's all arranged, it would be not a good thing to take it off and put it elsewhere. Just to let you know, on a couple of the other grants that I've already submitted, I'm requesting a second one. So I'm hoping to get that sign.
Okay. A few years ago, we had a portable one that was out here. I don't know where we got that from at the time, but I know that the traffic. I've talked to quite a few people here on Harold, and we got a couple guys that are racing down Harold Drive like you can't believe. One guy I think was doing probably 60 miles an hour. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to catch him, but I was hoping that maybe that portable sign, if it's available, or where we got that, if that could be utilized.
That was Berlin Township. We borrowed that from. We have we have a lot of cooperation with them. I can check into it, and we can look and see if it is available, but we did borrow that from Berlin Township before.
Okay. Yeah, it would be nice because the traffic has been going pretty fast down Harold. You probably noticed that too, Jim.
Yeah.
And we're seeing more and more pedestrians in the walkway, or of course the golf carts. I had one guy zoom by me the other night. He was probably doing 40 miles an hour.
On a golf cart?
I was not in his. I was in the golf cart, but my my golf cart won't do 40.
Right.
Mine won't either.
So is it in the evening hours, later in the evening, afternoon, late afternoon?
I would say it's probably more around between 5 and 7.
Okay. Okay.
Morning there doesn't seem to be too much problems or anything like that. But there's one guy that comes out of Allen's Cove down there. Next time I see him, I'll get his number and get it for you.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And is the beach open now?
The beach is open.
The beach is open. Okay.
Yeah. We did get most of the debris cleaned up. It's looking much better. It's still a struggle because there's still a lot of.
Right. Yeah, I saw it last night. Did you take the chain down that went from the walkway to the beach?
Not to the walkway to the beach. That one is still up. Because people have to walk across the rocks and stuff to get down there. It used to be sand and it used to be able to pile it up there, but the water washes it right out again. So they decided just to leave the chain there and kind of encourage people not to walk down across the rocks.
Okay.
Any other questions? Now
I just have one other comment. I want to compliment the city and our workers here during the last flood warning that we had. Allen's Cove really withstood quite a bit of that, where it did not have the devastation that we've had in the past. So I think they did a tremendous job down there keeping the damage to a minimum.
Yes, they really did, because other communities did not fare as well as we did.
Right.
I had the next day, Monroe Evening News reporter Tom Hawley came through, and he said, "Well, where's the flooding?" And he'd been to other neighborhoods, and he couldn't even get into them. They were devastated, and he said, "Well, there's no story here." And I said, "That's a good thing. We worked really hard." And he did a very good.
He did a great job.
Yeah, he is covering Luna Pier on a bigger story of why we live here. So just a heads up on that, of not just the flooding but the good things. And he's been he'll be at the restaurants the day they open to do a story and check things out. And that's a good thing. It's good exposure showing that there is a good reason to live here.
I just wanted to ask Jolene, will you put on the website the opening at the housing, just so we cover all our bases?
Sure. Yep, sure.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? If not, we have our usual announcements. All these are tentative because most of them we can't meet yet. Unless it's an online meeting. There is actually two more MCOP, actually 3, June, July, and August, MCOP food distributions. They'll be at 2:00 on Saturday. It usually takes 1 or 2 volunteers. If you would like to volunteer, let me know. I might have been getting a few volunteers from the community who want to get involved, and we've let them do it as well. But if anybody, it's a great time. All you do is just direct traffic and wave to people and talk to them a little bit. MCOP does the bulk of the work. I know Councilman Meadows has helped out, and it's a good time. It's a good thing that we have in our city. The rest of the announcements, If there are no other comments or questions, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, support?
Support.
We got support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. We thank you. The meeting is adjourned. Venture out, but stay safe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
evening. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.